Now, though, after almost 8 hours on the stand, Prince Harry has finished giving his evidence in that phone hacking case against Mirror Group newspapers. And watching him face questions yesterday was courtroom artist Priscilla Coleman. She joins me, along with the royal commentator Jennie Bond. Jennie, he says he's doing all of this, you know, lots of the headlines this morning. It's all to protect Meghan, it's to protect his wife. And we heard a lot of really more personal stuff, didn't we?
We did. I thought Harry had a better second day in court, I must say. And as you say, he said he was doing it to stop the hate and intrusion into Meghan's life. They met the lawyer who's representing them in the south of France, apparently, when they were down there with Elton John. And it was the lawyer who came up, the barrister, who came up with the idea of going for it, really, in court. And certainly that's what Harry has done. Again, I don't think they managed to land any killer punches against the Mirror newspaper group. I think they've established very clearly pretty much what we all knew, certainly given that there have been many, many out-of-court settlements by other people, that these newspapers have intruded into many celebrities' lives, including Harry. And phones have been hacked. We know that because damages have been paid. But again, I'm not sure that they've established that Mirror newspaper group did anything illicit against Prince Harry. But I think it's 50-50 at the end of the day. And there was certainly some sympathy, I think, for Harry at the very end when he was asked by his barrister, well, there you are, you've been in the witness box for a day and a half. How are you feeling? And his voice cracked. He apparently, Priscilla will know very much. He looked very emotional and said, "It's a lot." And it reminded me straight away of going back to Tom Bradby asking Meghan Markle in South Africa, "Are you okay?" And we knew very much that she wasn't.
That's so true and very interesting. Priscilla, you obviously have been there. We've seen on TV and in the media, you know, the artwork that you've done. How do you think he was yesterday? How has he been? Because you've been, it's very different when you're actually in the room, isn't it?
Yes, he seemed very tired. He seemed completely worn. His answers were as if he would just needed to have a rest, a real rest.
Right.
And he was very, very stressed. And I think that he just, when the judge asked him questions at the end of the day, and he said, "It's a lot," it was obvious. He was so worn out. And then when he went to sit down next to his lawyers after he finished, I actually thought he was so tired, I thought he would have just left the court and had a lie down. Ooh. But he went to sit next to them and just looked up and, just sort of, as if he has...
It's a lot. I mean, it's an, you know, he said it's his life's work. He wants to do this. He doesn't have to do it. He could have settled, but he wanted to do it. But it's interesting what you say, because I think if we can see some of your sketches, that one there in particular, he does look very... He does look tired. He does look stressed.
This is the ones where he's really tired and stressed, or when he's trying to talk to the judge. Not that the judge was doing anything difficult to him. He was really quite kind, and the judge was the one who said, "You've been here many hours."
Yes.
But obviously, the judge is going to make all these decisions, so.
It's down to him.
It's all down to him.
What about the lawyers? Because we're told, you know, that this lawyer that he bumped into in Elton John's house in the south of France.
Sherborne.
Yes. How was his demeanour? How did he come across to you?
He comes across as really entertaining and very dramatic, and he's great for reporters to base their story on, because he looks around the court sort of in a similar way that George Carmen used to do, or Michael Mansfield sometimes is known for, because he knows he's got an audience and he really plays to that.
He's a performer.
So not only is he talking to Harry, he's looking around to see, does everyone hear what I'm saying now? And do you hear what my client is trying to tell you?
And what about the Beast? Everybody went on about the Beast, didn't they?
He's a really
Is he scary?
distinctive-looking man. He
Yeah.
wasn't as scary as I expected.
I mean, because everybody thought he would have horns and a tail. And,
Oh, yes.
you know, like, oh, no.
His eyebrows are probably the scariest thing about him. He has very dramatic black eyebrows.
Right.
But considering he's known for all these big money financial court cases, my God, there's a lot weighing on these men's shoulders.
It'll be interesting when they do the movie, Priscilla, as to who they will make, because you know they're going to. They're absolutely going to. And,
they should,
and
yes.
Jennie, he talked a lot. I mean, I was thinking yesterday, you know, he talked a lot about previous relationships, especially with Chelsy Davy. And that must be very difficult, actually, for Meghan to go through that, because obviously they've talked about, you know, his past, and they've talked about all of these things. It's all in the public domain. But that must be quite difficult for both of them, I think.
Oh, yes, I think so. As you say, they must have discussed it beforehand, but Chelsy was a very big part of his life for a long time. Interesting, though, that his uncle, Charles Spencer, tweeted overnight to say that suggestions that Harry still was obsessed with Chelsy Davy, those suggestions are pathetic, according to Charles Spencer. So that's, nailed that one on the head. But no, it was a strong relationship, and Harry's made no bones about the fact that, and in court he made no bones about the fact that he felt that it was the press that finally convinced Chelsy Davy that she didn't want to be part of royal life. It really broke up the relationship. It was a pretty fiery relationship anyway. But yes, it was all very personal. And Caroline Flack also was mentioned in court. A friend, as Harry put it, who was no longer with us. And he was deeply upset. You could see that a dinner meeting, I won't call it a date, a dinner meeting they had, was leaked somehow. We don't know. That's the issue, isn't it?
Yes.
And the Mirror got hold of the story. Yeah. But time and again, the Beast, if you like, pushed back on Harry and said, yes, that story did come out, and yes, it must have been hurtful, but how can you prove it was the Mirror who got it? Very often it was another newspaper, and Harry had to concede, oh gosh, yes, that was in the Mail or the Sun or something the day before, or to come from the palace. So that killer punch was still lacking. But I thought it was interesting that at the end, the judge, who didn't have to ask Harry anything, chose to pinpoint a part of his witness statement that hadn't been mentioned. And that was about voicemails, which had signs of being intercepted. There was a time when you could see the voicemail had been listened to before, right, or there was an icon that was missing to show that it was new. And he said, the judge asked Harry, so when did that start happening? And he said, oh, as soon as I got a mobile phone. And how long did it go on? Asked the judge. And Harry said, it never stopped. So perhaps, given that it is the balance of probability that's at question here, not beyond all doubt, evidence beyond all doubt, maybe the judge might be leaning towards thinking, well, that is quite powerful stuff. So we're not going to hear the result for a long time, but I would say it's about 50-50 at the moment.
50-50. Jennie, thank you very much indeed. And Priscilla, thank you. Always good to talk to you. That, you know, no one else has got that sort of insight and looking at people in that sort of forensic way. Thank you very much.